Good morning, everyone. Today, we explore qualitative research methods too, focusing on sampling, data collection, and analysis in healthcare management research. Qualitative methods are vital for uncovering deep insights into complex phenomena, such as patient experiences or healthcare team dynamics, which quantitative approaches may not fully capture. Unlike quantitative research, which uses random sampling for generalizability, qualitative research employs non-random, non-probability sampling to select participants who provide rich, context-specific data, crucial for informing healthcare practices. A key concept is data saturation, where no new themes emerge, guiding sample size to ensure comprehensive data. Data collection methods, like interviews and observations, capture nuanced narratives, while trustworthiness, encompassing credibility, dependability, confirmability, and transferability, ensures rigorous findings. Ethical considerations, such as informed consent, are critical in healthcare research involving human subjects, aligning with Canada's Three Council policy statement. This lecture equips you to design robust qualitative studies for your research proposals. Let's begin with the logic of qualitative sampling, which lays the foundation for selecting participants who provide meaningful insights into healthcare management issues. Building on our introduction, let's examine the logic of qualitative sampling, essential for healthcare management research. Unlike quantitative research, which uses probability sampling for statistical representativeness, qualitative research employs non-random, non-probability sampling to select participants who offer deep insights into a specific phenomena, such as healthcare manager burnout. The rationale lies in the qualitative paradigm's focus on understanding attributes and meanings, not generalizability. For example, in a study on patient satisfaction in Canadian hospitals, researchers might select diverse healthcare providers to capture varied perspectives. Data saturation, where no new themes emerge, guides sample size, ensuring sufficient depth without redundancy. This contrasts with probability sampling, where each participant has an equal chance of selection, as qualitative sampling prioritizes information richness. In healthcare, this approach allows exploration of complex issues like team collaboration with experienced participants. Non-random methods risk bias, such as overrepresenting accessible groups, requiring careful justification. Ethical sampling, approved by a research ethics board, is essential to protect participants. Understanding this logic is key to designing effective studies. Next, we'll explore probability versus non-probability sampling, highlighting why qualitative research favors the latter in healthcare contexts. Following the logic of qualitative sampling, let's compare probability and non-probability sampling to understand their roles in healthcare management research. Probability sampling involves random selection, where each population element has an equal chance of inclusion, ensuring statistical representativeness, as used in quantitative studies. For example, a survey on hospital staff satisfaction might randomly select participants to generalize findings. In contrast, non-probability sampling, used in qualitative research, targets specific participants who provide rich, relevant data, such as experienced nurses in a retention study. The researcher does not know the probability of inclusion, increasing bias risk but allowing in-depth exploration of phenomena like patient feedback systems. Qualitative research avoids probability sampling because its goal is to understand attributes and meanings, not to generalize findings. In healthcare, this enables detailed insights into team dynamics or manager stress, prioritizing depth over breadth. Ethical considerations, such as obtaining research ethics board approval, ensure participant protection in non-probability sampling. This distinction shapes study design, emphasizing information-rich data. This slide transitions to convenience sampling, where we'll explore a specific non-probability method and its implications for healthcare research. Building on our comparison of sampling types, let's explore convenience sampling, a common non-probability method in healthcare management research. Convenient sampling selects participants who are accessible and available, such as nurses on duty during a researcher's hospital visit. This method is efficient and cost-effective, making it suitable for exploratory studies, like initial investigations into patient satisfaction in a specific clinic. However, it carries a high risk of bias, as it may overrepresent easily reachable participants, such as those in urban hospitals, while excluding others, like rural staff, potentially skewing findings. In healthcare, this bias could limit the diversity of perspectives on team collaboration, affecting the study's credibility. Researchers must justify its use, ensuring alignment with the research question, and mitigate bias through triangulation or diverse recruitment. Ethical considerations, like informed consent, are critical to protect participants. Despite its limitations, convenient sampling can provide valuable initial insights when resources are constrained. For example, interviewing available managers about stress can inform larger studies. The slide leads to snowball sampling, another non-probability method that leverages participant referrals in healthcare research. Following convenient sampling, let's examine snowball sampling, a non-probability method valuable in healthcare management research. Snowball sampling involves participants referring others to the study, ideal for accessing hard-to-reach populations, such as specialized healthcare providers or patients with rare conditions. For example, in a study on nurse retention, a nurse might refer colleagues with similar experiences, expanding the sample. This method is efficient when populations are difficult to identify, like in studies of healthcare manager burnout in niche settings. However, it risks bias, as participants may refer like-minded individuals, limiting diversity and potentially skewing findings, such as overrepresenting certain perspectives on team dynamics. Researchers must address this by seeking diverse referrals and justifying the method's alignment with the research question. Ethical considerations, including obtaining informed consent from referred participants, are critical. Snowball sampling can yield rich data when carefully managed, enhancing trustworthiness through triangulation. For instance, it might uncover unique insights into patient feedback systems. This slide transitions to quota sampling, which aims to ensure representativeness within subgroups in healthcare research studies. Building on snowball sampling, let's explore quota sampling, a non-probability method used in healthcare management research. Quota sampling involves selecting a specific number of participants from predefined population subgroups, such as a set number of male and female patients in a satisfaction study. This method combines convenient sampling with stratification to ensure representation across subgroups, like age or role in a hospital team. For example, a study on patient feedback might target 10 patients from each age group to capture diverse perspectives. However, as a form of convenient sampling, it remains subject to bias from non-random selection, potentially overrepresenting accessible participants and skewing findings. Researchers must justify the stratification criteria and address bias through triangulation or diverse recruitment. Ethical oversight, such as research ethics board approval, ensures participants' protection. Quota sampling enhances representativeness within qualitative constraints, supporting trustworthiness when aligned with the research question. In healthcare, it can reveal varied insights into team collaboration. The slide leads to purposive sampling, which focuses on selecting participants with specific knowledge for in-depth healthcare research. Following quota sampling, let's discuss purposive sampling, a key non-probability method in healthcare management research. Purposive sampling involves hand-picking participants believed to have specific knowledge relevant to the study, such as experienced healthcare managers in a burnout study. Researchers may select for maximum variation, including diverse perspectives, or focus on typical or extreme cases to deepen understanding. For example, in a patient satisfaction study, purposive sampling might include both highly satisfied and dissatisfied patients to capture a range of experiences. This method enhances data depth, providing rich insights into phenomena like team dynamics. However, it risks researcher bias, as subjective selection may favor certain perspectives, requiring careful justification and triangulation to ensure credibility. Ethical considerations, like informed consent, are critical to protect participants. Purposive sampling aligns with the qualitative goal of exploring meanings, supporting trustworthiness when rigorously applied. In healthcare, it can uncover nuanced insights into service quality issues. This slide transitions to systematic sampling, another non-probability method that offers a structured approach to participant selection in healthcare research. Building on purposive sampling, let's explore systematic sampling, a non-probability method used in healthcare management research. Systematic sampling involves selecting every end participant from a list, such as every fifth nurse in a hospital roster, for a retention study. This method provides structure to non-random sampling, offering a more organized approach than convenient sampling while targeting relevant participants. For example, in a study on patient feedback, selecting every 10th patient from a clinic's records ensures a consistent selection process. However, it may miss unique or diverse perspectives if the list lacks variety, potentially limiting the depth of findings on phenomena like team collaboration. Researchers must justify the interval and list used, addressing potential biases through triangulation. Ethical oversight, including research ethics board approval, ensures participant protection. Systematic sampling supports trustworthiness when aligned with the research question, providing structured yet rich data. In healthcare, it can streamline participant selection while maintaining relevance. The slide leads to critiquing sampling plans, where we'll evaluate how these methods ensure adequacy and appropriateness in healthcare research studies. Having explored sampling types, let's focus on critiquing qualitative sampling plans to ensure they meet research objectives in healthcare management. A robust plan is evaluated for adequacy, whether the sample size and quality yield rich, comprehensive descriptions, and appropriateness, ensuring the method aligns with the research question. For example, in a study on healthcare manager stress, purposive sampling of diverse managers ensures relevant insights, while convenient sampling might skew results by including only available participants. Data saturation, where no new themes emerge, determines sufficient sample size, ensuring depth without redundancy. Researchers must define the target population, e.g., all hospital administrators, and accessible population, e.g., those in urban hospitals, justifying their strategy. For instance, a quota sampling plan for diverse patient feedback must address potential biases. Ethical considerations, such as research ethics board approval, are critical to protect participants. A strong plan details the setting, participant characteristics, and selection procedures to enhance trustworthiness, ensuring data reflects the phenomenon accurately. Critiquing these elements refines study design, ensuring robust findings. This slide transitions to sampling procedures, where we'll outline the steps for implementing a qualitative sampling plan in healthcare research. Following our critique of sampling plans, let's outline the procedures for implementing a qualitative sampling plan in healthcare management research. The process begins with identifying the target population, such as all healthcare managers in a province, and the accessible population, like those in specific hospitals, to ensure feasibility. For example, a study on patient satisfaction might target all clinic patients but access only those in urban settings. Next, researchers develop a sampling plan, selecting a method like purposive or quota sampling and providing a clear rationale for its alignment with the research question. This plan details participant selection criteria, sample size, and strategies to achieve data saturation, ensuring rich data. Obtaining research ethics board approval is critical, especially in healthcare, to ensure ethical practices like informed consent and confidentiality. The step protects participants and enhances trustworthiness. For instance, a study on team dynamics must document ethical compliance to gain approval. These procedures ensure the sampling plan is robust and aligned with study goals, supporting credible findings. The slide leads to self-report data collection methods, where the sampling plan's effectiveness translates into gathering meaningful narratives for healthcare research. Following sampling procedures, let's explore self-report data collection methods, key for capturing narratives in healthcare management research. Unstructured interviews use grand tour questions to elicit broad, detailed stories, ideal for exploring phenomena like patient satisfaction, allowing participants to share freely. For example, asking a healthcare manager, "Describe your experience with burnout," encourages in-depth responses. Semi-structured interviews use specific questions to guide discussions while allowing elaboration, suitable for focus groups or individual interviews. Diaries or daily logs, where participants record experiences, offer longitudinal insights, such as tracking team collaboration challenges. These methods are flexible, overcoming communication barriers and fostering purposeful conversations. In healthcare, they capture nuanced perspectives, like patient feedback on service quality. Researchers must prepare carefully, using interview guides with follow-up questions to clarify responses, ensuring rich data. Ethical practices, such as informed consent, are critical to protect participants. The choice of method depends on the research question. Unstructured interviews suit exploratory studies, while semi-structured interviews balance structure and flexibility. This slide transitions to unstructured self-report methods, where we'll delve deeper into their application in healthcare research. Building on self-report methods, let's focus on unstructured self-report methods, highly flexible tools in healthcare management research. Unstructured interviews use broad, grand tour questions to elicit participant stories, allowing respondents to share experiences in their own words without preset or pre-worded questions. For example, asking a nurse, "Tell me about your daily challenges," encourages detailed narratives about workplace stress. This conversational approach overcomes communication barriers, fostering a natural flow of meaning, ideal for exploring complex phenomena like patient satisfaction. Researchers must be skilled listeners, preparing follow-up questions to clarify ambiguous responses, ensuring rich, trustworthy data. In healthcare, this method captures nuanced insights, such as managers' perspectives on team dynamics, enhancing study depth. Ethical considerations, like ensuring informed consent, are critical to maintain participant trust. The lack of structure allows participants to express experiences freely, supporting credibility. However, researchers must manage potential bias from subjective interpretations, using triangulation to validate findings. This method is particularly effective in exploratory studies, laying the groundwork for deeper analysis. The slide leads to semi-structured self-report methods, which balance flexibility with guided questions in healthcare research. Following unstructured self-report methods, let's explore semi-structured self-report methods, widely used in healthcare management research. Semi-structured interviews begin with specific questions to guide the discussion while allowing participants to expand on responses, offering flexibility and depth. For example, in a study on patient feedback, a researcher might ask, "What improves your hospital experience?" and encourage elaboration on key points. This method is effective in focus groups, where multiple participants discuss topics like team collaboration, or in diaries, where individuals log daily experiences, such as managers tracking stress. The interviewer ensures critical questions are addressed, clarifying responses to enhance data richness. In healthcare, this balances structure with participant-driven insights, capturing nuanced perspectives on service quality. Ethical practices, like informed consent, are essential to protect participants. Researchers must design questions carefully to avoid leading responses, ensuring trustworthiness. This method suits studies requiring both focus and flexibility, such as exploring nurse retention. By building on a robust sampling plan, semi-structured methods yield reliable data. This slide transitions to observation data collection methods, which complement self-reports by capturing real-time behaviors in healthcare settings. Following self-report methods, let's examine observation data collection methods, vital for capturing real-time behaviors in healthcare management research. Unstructured observations record events as they unfold, such as team interactions in the hospital, providing a holistic view of phenomena like communication dynamics. Structured observations focus on predefined behaviors, using checklists or rating scales to measure frequency or intensity, such as collaborative decisions in team meetings. Participant observation varies on a continuum from complete immersion, where the researcher joins the group, to complete separation, where they remain detached. In healthcare, immersion might involve participating in team activities, potentially influencing dynamics, requiring ethical consideration. Ethical concerns are significant. Observing sensitive situations, like patient interactions, requires informed consent and research ethics board approval. Researchers document observations using field notes or logs, noting settings and behaviors to ensure trustworthiness. The choice of method depends on the research question. Unstructured observations suit exploratory studies, while structured ones quantify behaviors. The slide leads to unstructured observation methods, where we'll explore their application in capturing detailed healthcare narratives. Building on observation methods, let's focus on unstructured observation methods, key for capturing detailed narratives in healthcare management research. Unstructured observations record events as they occur, documenting physical settings, participant behaviors, and activities without predefined categories. For example, observing a hospital team meeting might note the environment, interactions, and communication patterns to understand collaboration. Researchers use logs or field notes to record narratives, including observational, theoretical, methodological, and personal notes, which add depth to the analysis. These notes capture frequency, duration, and context of events, such as how often conflicts arise in team discussions. In healthcare, this method provides rich insights into phenomena like patient care dynamics, supporting trustworthiness. Ethical considerations, like ensuring informed consent for observations, are critical, especially in sensitive settings. Researchers must manage potential bias from their presence, which may alter behaviors, using triangulation to validate findings. Unstructured observations are ideal for exploratory studies, laying the groundwork for deeper analysis. For instance, they might reveal unexpected barriers to team efficiency. This slide transitions to structured observation methods, which offer a more systematic approach to observing behaviors in healthcare research. Following unstructured observation methods, let's explore structured observation methods, which provide a systematic approach in healthcare management research. Structured observations focus on specific, predefined behaviors, using checklists or rating scales to record their frequency, intensity, or magnitude. For example, in a study on team collaboration, a researcher might use a checklist to track instances of effective communication during hospital meetings. Rating scales can quantify behaviors, such as rating conflict resolution on a continuum. This method ensures focused data collection, suitable for studies requiring measurable outcomes, like assessing nurse efficiency. However, ethical concerns arise in healthcare, where observing sensitive situations, like patient interactions, requires informed consent and research ethics board approval to avoid harm. Researchers must ensure observations are ethically appropriate, documenting methods to maintain trustworthiness. Structured observations reduce subjectivity compared to unstructured methods but may miss nuanced behaviors, requiring triangulation for validation. In healthcare, this method can quantify team dynamics, informing practice improvements. For instance, a checklist might reveal recurring delays in decision-making. The slide leads to critiquing observation methods, where we'll evaluate their alignment with research goals and ethical standards in healthcare studies. Building on structured observation methods, let's focus on critiquing observation methods to ensure their effectiveness in healthcare management research. A critical evaluation assesses whether the method aligns with the research question, ensuring it captures the intended phenomenon. For example, unstructured observations suit exploring team dynamics, while structured observations measure specific behaviors like decision-making frequency. The degree of structure, unstructured versus structured, must fit the study's goals. Overly rigid methods may miss nuanced data. Observer concealment is a key concern. A researcher's presence in a hospital meeting might alter behaviors unless concealed appropriately, raising ethical questions about informed consent. Observer bias, where the researcher's perspective skews interpretations, must be addressed through triangulation or multiple observers. Ethical issues are critical in healthcare, where observing sensitive situations, like patient care, requires clear justification and participant approval. Researchers must document the observation's focus, setting, and data recording methods, e.g., field notes, to ensure trustworthiness. For instance, a study on patient interactions must justify its observational approach to avoid ethical violations. This critique ensures robust data collection, leading to our next topic, existing data sources, which complement observations in healthcare research. Following our critique of observation methods, let's explore existing data sources, which enrich qualitative healthcare management research. Historical records, such as diaries, letters, or newspaper reports, provide narrative data to describe past realities, like patient care practices in Canadian hospitals. For example, analyzing historical health records can reveal trends in patient satisfaction over time. Secondary analysis involves re-examining data from previous studies to answer new research questions, such as using existing nurse retention data to explore leadership impacts. These sources offer context, complementing primary data like interviews or observations. In healthcare, they are valuable for understanding long-term trends or validating current findings. Researchers must ensure ethical use, obtaining permissions for secondary analysis and maintaining confidentiality. The choice of source depends on the research question. Historical records suit studies of past practices, while secondary analysis supports longitudinal insights. Researchers must assess data quality, ensuring relevance and trustworthiness. For instance, outdated records may limit applicability, requiring careful interpretation. This slide transitions to qualitative data analysis, where we'll explore how collected and existing data are organized to uncover insights in healthcare research. After exploring the existing data sources, let's examine qualitative data analysis, a critical step in healthcare management research. Analysis begins with organizing and transcribing data, such as interview recordings or observational field notes, into a narrative format. This labor-intensive process requires verbatim transcription of every word, pause, and intonation to preserve data richness. Once transcribed, data is coded into meaningful categories, assigning labels, e.g., words, numbers, to text segments reflecting concepts like stress or team collaboration in a healthcare study. The constant comparison method compares data segments for similarities and differences, identifying recurring themes, such as barriers to patient feedback systems. This iterative process involves repeated reading and reflection to ensure categories capture the phenomenon's essence. In healthcare, this might reveal insights into manager resilience. Tools like NVivo manage large data sets, though manual coding ensures deeper understanding, reducing overly complex schemes. Ethical considerations, like maintaining participant confidentiality, are critical. The goal is to reduce data into manageable units while constructing meaningful interpretations, ensuring trustworthiness. For example, coding patient interviews might highlight satisfaction themes. The slide leads to content analysis, focusing on systematically analyzing narratives in healthcare research. Following data analysis processes, let's explore content analysis, a key method for healthcare management research. Content analysis involves systematically examining narrative data, words, phrases, or stories, to identify themes and patterns reflecting the phenomenon under study. For example, analyzing interview transcripts in a manager resilience study might uncover themes like coping strategies, Researchers may use preconceived coding schemes, based on literature or initial data reviews, or allow themes to emerge organically. Frequency counts can quantify recurring themes, such as how often team collaboration appears in interviews, adding a quantitative element. This process requires careful organization, with verbatim transcription and systematic coding to ensure trustworthiness. Ethical considerations, like protecting participant anonymity, are critical. Content analysis reduces complex narratives into manageable themes, ensuring meaningful findings. For instance, analyzing patient narratives might reveal common satisfaction drivers. In healthcare, this method informs practices like improving service quality. Researchers must balance subjective interpretation with rigorous analysis to maintain credibility. This slide transitions to data management and organization, where we'll explore how narrative data is systematically organized to support robust analysis in healthcare research. Building on content analysis, let's discuss data management and organization, essential for handling narrative data in healthcare management research. Qualitative research generates extensive data, like interview transcripts or field notes, requiring systematic classification and indexing. Researchers develop categorization schemes, assigning codes, e.g., numbers, words, to data segments reflecting concepts like patient satisfaction. Manual methods, like using colored markers, suit smaller data sets, while software like NVivo manages larger volumes, though manual coding ensures deeper engagement. Codes may carry meaning, such as stress for manager interviews. The constant comparison process breaks data into segments, refining categories as new concepts emerge. In healthcare, this might involve recoding data to capture unexpected themes like workload barriers. Ethical considerations, like maintaining confidentiality, are critical. Effective organization ensures data is audit-ready, supporting trustworthiness. For example, organizing patient feedback data might reveal recurring service quality issues. The systematic approach is crucial for robust analysis, ensuring reliable findings. This slide leads to computer-assisted data analysis, where we'll explore how software enhances efficiency in qualitative healthcare research. Following data management, let's explore computer-assisted data analysis, a valuable tool in healthcare management research. Software like NVivo or Atlas.ai manages large narrative data sets, such as interview transcripts or observational notes, processing them faster than manual methods. For example, in a study on patient satisfaction, software can organize thousands of responses into categories like service quality. However, reliance on software risks overly complex coding schemes, which may become mechanical and detached from the data's meaning. Manual coding ensures a hands-on approach, allowing researchers to engage deeply with narratives, such as identifying nuanced themes in manager burnout. Researchers assign codes, e.g., words, numbers, to data segments, refining them through constant comparison. Ethical considerations, like ensuring participant anonymity during software analysis, are critical. Combining software efficiency with manual oversight balances speed and depth, enhancing trustworthiness. In healthcare, this approach can streamline analysis of team dynamics data while preserving rich insights. Researchers must avoid overcomplicating coding to maintain clarity. This slide transitions to evaluating data quality, where we'll assess how trustworthiness criteria ensure the credibility and reliability of qualitative findings in healthcare research. Following computer-assisted analysis, let's examine how to evaluate qualitative data quality in healthcare management research, ensuring trustworthiness. Lincoln and Cuba, 1985, defined trustworthiness through 4 criteria: credibility, dependability, confirmability, and transferability. Credibility ensures data reflects participants' truths, achieved through data saturation and prolonged engagement, like extended interviews with healthcare managers on burnout. Dependability ensures stable findings over time, verified through stepwise replication, where independent teams analyze data for consistency. Confirmability establishes objectivity via an audit trail, documenting raw data, theoretical notes, and analysis decisions for independent review. Transferability assesses whether findings apply to other contexts, like transferring patient satisfaction insights across hospitals, supported by thick descriptions. Comparing informant descriptions, such as one manager's stress narrative with another's, checks consistency, enhancing trustworthiness. In healthcare, where findings inform practice, these criteria are critical. Ethical considerations, like maintaining transparency, ensure rigor. For example, an audit trail in a team dynamics study verifies coding decisions. This evaluation ensures robust, reliable findings, impacting healthcare outcomes. This slide leads to credibility in qualitative research, where we'll explore techniques to ensure data reflects true experiences in healthcare studies. Following our evaluation of data quality, let's focus on credibility, a cornerstone of trustworthiness in healthcare management research. Credibility ensures confidence in the data's truth, akin to validity in quantitative research, reflecting participants' experiences accurately. In a study on healthcare manager resilience, credibility is achieved through prolonged engagement, such as extended interviews to capture detailed narratives, and data saturation, where no new themes emerge. Triangulation enhances credibility by using multiple reference, like combining interviews with observations of team dynamics in a hospital. 4 types of triangulations include data source, e.g., patients and providers, investigator, multiple researchers, theory, different perspectives, like feminist or illness models, and method, interviews and questionnaires. In healthcare, triangulation might validate patient satisfaction findings by cross-referencing survey and focus group data. Ethical practices, like informed consent, support credibility by ensuring participant trust. Researchers document engagement and triangulation to demonstrate rigor. For example, a study on patient feedback systems uses triangulation to confirm service quality themes. This slide transitions to external methods for credibility, which further enhance the trustworthiness of healthcare research findings. Building on credibility, let's explore external methods to ensure credible qualitative findings in healthcare management research. Peer debriefing involves sessions with objective peers to review findings, reducing researcher bias. For example, in a study on healthcare team collaboration, peers critique coding schemes to ensure accuracy. Member checks involve sharing preliminary findings with participants to validate interpretations, ensuring data reflects their experiences, like managers confirming stress-related themes. However, differing agendas may complicate member checks, requiring careful navigation. Searching for disconfirming evidence, where researchers seek data challenging emerging findings, enhances credibility by ensuring robust conclusions. In a patient satisfaction study, this might involve analyzing outliers reporting dissatisfaction. These methods align with Lincoln and Cuba's 1985 trustworthiness framework, supported by ethical practices like transparency. In healthcare, where findings inform critical practices, these checks ensure reliable insights. For instance, peer debriefing in a nurse retention study refines leadership impact themes. Researchers document these processes to demonstrate rigor, ensuring credible findings that impact healthcare outcomes. This slide transitions to researcher credibility, where we'll examine how transparency in the researcher's role enhances trustworthiness in healthcare research. Following external methods for credibility, let's discuss researcher credibility, critical for trustworthiness in healthcare management research. In qualitative research, the researcher is the instrument for data collection and analysis, making their subjective experience integral. Unlike quantitative research, where objectivity is paramount, qualitative research values subjectivity but requires transparency about biases, credentials, and connections to the phenomenon. For example, in a study on healthcare manager burnout, a researcher with clinical experience might interpret data differently, and disclosing this background allows readers to assess bias. Transparency enhances trustworthiness, enabling consumers to evaluate the researcher's perspective. In healthcare, where findings impact patient care, clear disclosure is critical. Ethical practices, like maintaining confidentiality, support credibility. Researchers document their background and perspectives in the report. For instance, a study on patient feedback systems might note the researcher's hospital administration role. This transparency ensures rigorous, trustworthy findings, strengthening their impact. The slide leads to dependability in qualitative research, where we'll explore how stable findings ensure reliability in healthcare studies. Following researcher credibility, let's explore dependability, a key component of trustworthiness in healthcare management research. Dependability ensures data stability over time and conditions, akin to reliability in quantitative research, meaning the same phenomenon under similar conditions yields consistent findings. For example, in a study on healthcare team dynamics, dependable data produces similar collaboration themes across analyses. Stepwise replication achieves this by having independent teams analyze data in parallel to confirm consistency. Inquiry audits involve an independent reviewer, blind to original findings, analyzing data to verify results, ensuring rigor. In healthcare, where findings inform practices like patient care improvements, dependability is critical. Ethical practices, like maintaining an audit trail, support dependability by documenting analysis decisions. For instance, a study on nurse retention uses an audit to confirm leadership impact themes. Researchers detail methods to demonstrate stability, enhancing trustworthiness. Without dependability, credibility is compromised, as unstable data undermines truthfulness. These strategies ensure reliable findings, impacting healthcare outcomes. This slide transitions to confirmability, where we'll examine how objectivity ensures the neutrality of qualitative findings in healthcare research. Following dependability, let's explore confirmability, a pillar of trustworthiness in healthcare management research. Confirmability ensures objectivity, where independent reviewers agree on the data's relevance or meaning, minimizing researcher bias. For example, in a patient satisfaction study, confirmability is achieved when reviewers validate themes like service quality, an audit trail, documenting raw data, e.g., interview transcripts, theoretical notes, emerging themes, process notes, methodological decisions, personal notes, researcher reflections, and instrument development, e.g., interview guides, supports confirmability. In healthcare, where findings influence policy, this documentation ensures neutrality. Ethical practices, like protecting participant anonymity, are critical during audits. For instance, a study on manager stress includes an audit trail to verify coding decisions, allowing reviewers to trace theme development. Researchers maintain comprehensive records to demonstrate objectivity, enhancing trustworthiness. Confirmability ensures findings reflect the data, not biases, critical for credible healthcare outcomes. For example, an audit trail validates team dynamics findings, strengthening their reliability. The slide leads to transferability, where we'll explore how findings apply to different contexts in healthcare research. Following confirmability, let's discuss transferability, the final component of trustworthiness in healthcare management research. Transferability assesses whether findings can apply to different settings or groups, akin to generalizability in quantitative research. For example, a study on patient satisfaction in one Canadian hospital might explore applicability to other hospitals. Thick descriptions, detailed accounts of the phenomenon, setting, and participants enable others to judge transferability. In healthcare, a thick description of a team collaboration study might detail hospital culture, allowing researchers to assess applicability. Comparing findings across settings, like patient feedback systems in urban versus rural hospitals, supports transferability. Ethical considerations, like accurate representation of experiences, are critical. Researchers provide comprehensive context to facilitate these judgments, enhancing trustworthiness. For instance, a nurse retention study with detailed workplace descriptions supports applying findings elsewhere. Transferability ensures qualitative research informs broader healthcare practices, like improving service quality. This slide transitions to strategies for ensuring data quality, where we'll explore techniques to validate findings, ensuring robust outcomes in healthcare research. Following transferability, let's explore strategies for ensuring data quality in healthcare management research, focusing on trustworthiness. Investigator triangulation involves multiple researchers analyzing data independently or collaboratively to reduce bias, enhancing credibility. For example, in a study on team dynamics, two researchers code-interview data separately to ensure consistent themes. Member checks involve sharing preliminary findings with participants to validate interpretations, ensuring data reflects their experiences, like managers confirming stress-related themes. However, differing agendas may complicate checks, requiring careful navigation. Searching for disconfirming evidence, where researchers seek data challenging findings, strengthens credibility by ensuring robust conclusions. In a patient satisfaction study, analyzing outliers reporting dissatisfaction enhances rigor. These strategies align with Lincoln and Cuba's 1985 trustworthiness criteria, supported by ethical practices like transparency. In healthcare, where findings inform critical practices, these methods ensure reliable insights. For example, triangulation combines interview and observational data to validate collaboration findings, strengthening study outcomes. These strategies enhance qualitative research rigor, ensuring trustworthy results. This slide transitions to critical analysis of data quality, where we'll assess how trustworthiness ensures rigorous findings in healthcare research. Following strategies for data quality, let's explore critical analysis of data quality in healthcare management research, focusing on trustworthiness. Critical analysis assesses whether data accurately reflects the phenomenon, ensuring trustworthiness through credibility, dependability, confirmability, and transferability. For example, in a patient feedback study, researchers evaluate whether findings capture true service quality issues. Rigor is about fidelity to the qualitative spirit, assuming multiple, constructed realities rather than a singular truth. Effective analysis captures the phenomenon's essence, like identifying barriers to team collaboration. Researchers build arguments for or against trustworthiness by critiquing sampling, data collection, and analysis methods. For instance, inadequate sampling might weaken credibility by missing diverse perspectives. Ethical practices, like ensuring confidentiality, support rigorous analysis. In healthcare, where findings inform practice, critical analysis ensures reliable insights. A poorly triangulated study on manager resilience might lack dependability, requiring scrutiny. This process strengthens the validity of findings, ensuring they impact healthcare outcomes. This slide leads to our summary, where we'll recap qualitative methods and their application in healthcare management, emphasizing ethical and rigorous research design. As we conclude this lecture, let's summarize qualitative research methods and their relevance to healthcare management. Qualitative methods offer a powerful approach to understanding complex phenomena, like patient experiences or manager resilience, prioritizing depth over generalizability. Non-random sampling strategies, such as purposive or snowball, select participants for rich data, guided by data saturation. Data collection methods, including unstructured interviews and observations, capture nuanced narratives, adaptable to in-person or online settings, as seen in studies on team collaboration in Canadian hospitals. Analysis involves systematic coding and constant comparison to identify themes, ensuring findings reflect the phenomenon's essence. Trustworthiness, encompassing credibility, dependability, confirmability, and transferability, is critical, supported by triangulation and member checks. Ethical rigor, aligned with TCPS2, 2018, ensures participant protection through informed consent and confidentiality, vital in healthcare. These methods address pressing issues, like improving service quality or reducing burnout, with evidence-based insights. By mastering these techniques, you're equipped to design robust studies for your research proposals, contributing to organizational and patient outcomes. This lecture provides a framework for applying qualitative methods, emphasizing rigor and ethics in healthcare management research.